Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and for this video, we're going to be going over more creative and powerful builds in Elden Ring. Most of these are build requests. I can't wait to get into these. There's a lot of really fun and awesome builds here for you guys. By the way, if you have any build requests, don't forget to comment them below. I'll go through that throughout the video. For the first one here, we're going to go with the Golden Order God build. This includes the Golden Order Greatsword and multi-layered Ring of Light, any holy incantations really that you want to add, but it's a build for the Golden Order Greatsword. So the Golden Order Greatsword isn't chargeable or anything, but the Ash of War on it is pretty cool. It's going to work really well in DLC and for side bosses, not so much for the end game for Elden Ring because Holy is so resistant. Still, it's a really cool weapon. Somebody requested I make a build for it using Holy incantations as well. Multi-layered Ring of Light, if you have the DLC, complements this perfectly. It's really going to be an awesome thing to add to the Golden Order Greatsword build because you're going to be able to use the really cool Ash of War for a lot of holy damage and then use multi-layered Ring of Light for a ton of range. Now, the Golden Order Greatsword's Ash of War is a little bit slow. It does take a little while to get off. It's not chargeable or anything. Multi-layered Ring of Light, of course, is chargeable, but still, it does a pretty good amount of damage and again, will be great for DLC and side bosses. For equipment, we have the Golden Order Greatsword, plus 10 preferably. We have the Dry Leaf Shield, plus 25. We have the Great Bird chest piece on. You can check out the armor set there. Shard of Alexander, Sacred Scorpion Charm, Claw Talisman. I like jump attacks with this. Godfrey Icon for our incantations. Holy Tier, Bloodsucking correct tier. For stats, the main thing is 60 Vigor, 30 Dexterity, 60 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Halshaburi, Blessings of the Ur Tree, Multi-Layered Ring of Light, and Black Blade. And the next one up here is a really cool fire build. Somebody wanted me to do a version of the all-fire build for the Nagakiba, and it's absolutely awesome. I love the move set for the Nagakiba, and using Flaming Strike on this will give you a lot of AR, a lot of damage, and a lot of fun with a fire build. I don't take on these bosses too much with the dual tree avatars, so I decided to include them. But yeah, this is an awesome fire one for the person that wanted a Flame Art Nagakiba build that can also use incantations. Love the moveset for the Nagakiba. It is still one of my favorite weapons in Elden Ring and one of the coolest weapons for sure. Let's jump into equipment. And we have the Flame Art Nagakiba, plus 25 preferably. We have the Giant Seal. You can check out the armor set here. We hit 64 poise for this one. 64. Melissa's Prosthesis, Fire Scorpion Charm. We have the Shard of Alexander. We have the Godfrey Icon for our incantations, of course. We're using the Flame tier, the Bloodsucking correct tier. Let's jump into stats for this one. For our stats, we have 60 Vigor, 21 Mind, 25 Endurance, 18 Strength, 27 Dexterity, 65 Faith, Golden Vow, Halshaburi, Blessings of the Ur Tree, Flame Fall upon them, a Giant Flame take thee. So for the next one, we have a Tank Soldier Spear build. This uses Messmer Soldier Spear. Now, I wanted to make another tank build, and it ended up turning into a really awesome one for Blood Affinity for Messmer Soldier Spear. It does so much poise damage with the charge attacks too that I think we get a couple breaks on the Fire Giant. But overall, this is a fun tank build that you could run where you can take a lot of damage. You're going to be using Golden Vow and Black Flame's protection, and the big thing here is we have Endure as well. So when you use Endure, you could take significantly reduced damage. We're basically stacking some defensive buffs with Black Flame's protection and Endure. You're not going to get a ton of damage out of this one. This clip's a little bit on the longer side due to the fact that we're not really doing a ridiculous amount of damage. Now, we've got in Blood Affinity, so we'll get bleed procs occasionally. But overall, the point of this one is really just meant for survivability. We're not using the Bloodsucking crack tier or anything like that. We're using Blessings Boon to get some HP back. You're not going to have to heal a ridiculous amount with a build like this one. And you can see right there with Endure, we're able to absolutely tank that hit for only minimal damage. It's a really fun build to run this as a tank build that goes for some poise damage and a little bit of bleed buildup. Overall, you're just going to go for those charged hits. It's really built around two-handing the charged hits and then using Endure to constantly tank hits. It's a really fun way to run a tank build, especially with a really great weapon from the DLC. Messmer Soldier Spear, if you didn't know, is a phenomenal weapon from Shadow of the Ur Tree, an excellent addition for Elden Ring that does a substantial amount of damage for a spear overall. You can actually build around it to do a lot of damage as well. This one, of course, goes for more defense, but also big on the poise damage. You get some pierce damage too, which is a great damage type. And of course, that bleed buildup will be consistently building up a little bit of bleed, not a ton. You're going to get probably 2 to 3 bleed procs per fight. This is New Game Plus 3, Journey 4. Constantly keep attacking. There's a bleed proc there. If you see it, we have Lord of Blood's Exaltation equipped. It doesn't always proc on the Fire Giant. Depends where you are in regards to him, because it counts, I think, from the center of his body. So when you're too far below him or behind him, you do not get Lord of Blood's Exaltation. Even if you do get a bleed proc, unfortunately, it doesn't always proc in this fight. You're going to get that damage boost, though, in the majority of other fights. It's kind of a rare occurrence that only happens with some of the bigger bosses in the game. Turned into an epic fight. I want to mention real quick again, if you have any build requests, be sure to comment them below. If there's any in this video I didn't get to, these are pretty much all build requests. Next week, be sure to comment if you have any for obscure weapons. I'm looking to do a list of obscure weapons or weapons that I haven't covered or don't cover very often. Stuff that's a little hard to get. Maybe you got to grind for it, or weapons that typically aren't very good, trying to turn them into something better. That would be really fun to do. So if you have any obscure weapon build requests, that'd be something I'm really looking forward to doing. Didn't get many of them last week when I commented on it. Hopefully I get some more this week. I'm going to make a really cool video on it. If not, I may just go off on my own and do a video with obscure weapons. It'd be really fun to do weapons that typically aren't covered as much and really haven't been seen as often. There's so many weapons in Elden Ring, and a lot of them that are a little bit, let's just say, mid, take a backseat to some of the really great weapons in the game, like Messmer Soldier Spear here. And we get the critical break for the end takedown of the Fire Giant. He's got like 60,000 HP or something here, maybe 58,000, I don't know, so a decent amount. That took a little bit of time. That was the longest clip in this video, but overall, really fun build. We have Messmer Soldier Spear in Blood Affinity with Endure. We have Dragon Communion Seal. You can check out our armor set here. We hit 65 poise, I believe. We have the Axe Talisman, Lord of Blood's Exaltation, Two-Handed Sword Talisman, Blade of Mercy Talisman. We have the Opaline Hard tier, Spike Crack tier. Let's jump into stats for this one. For our stats, we have 60 Vigor, 15 Mind, 25 Endurance, 34 Strength, 16 Dexterity, 30 Faith, 40 Arcane. For our buffs, we're using Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection, and Blessings Boon. And next up here, we have a Holy Gargoyle build. This is a build that you could do similarly with the Euphoria if you have the DLC. Now, I decided to do this with the Gargoyle's Twin Blade, though, just to go for charge attacks with a holy damaging build that could work for regular bosses in Elden Ring. And the Draconic Tree Sentinel, I believe, has around 40% holy resistance, and we're still able to get a decent amount of damage here. Actually get a little bit of physical damage, even in Sacred Affinity with the Gargoyle's Twin Blade. I got hit there. And then you get a ton, of course, with the holy damage. Overall, it ends up being over 700 AR, and a really fun build that can do a lot of damage with charge attacks and successive hits. We have the Gargoyle's Sacred Twin Blade, plus 25 preferably, with Sacred Blade. We have the Giant Seal. You can check out the armor set. That helm gives us plus 2 faith. We have the Two-Handed Sword Talisman, Melissa's Prosthesis. Wing Sword Insignia or Rotten Wing Sword Insignia is better if you have it. Shard of Alexander, Holy tier, Bloodsucking correct tier. Let's jump into stats for this one. We have 55 Vigor, 20 Mind, 30 Endurance, 28 Strength, 23 Dexterity, 62 Faith. We are using Golden Vow. Flame Grant Me Strength, Halishiburi would be a little bit better here. And then we have Blessings Boon. Next up, another build request, Rosus Axe with INT stuff, basically being able to do spells and running it more as an intelligence build rather than running it as a strength build. It does split between the two, but of course the ghosts that you get basically when you slay them down, they're all going to be magic damage. The weapon itself, though, it's going to be physical damage. It's going to scale with strength. We went heavy, though, for intelligence here, though, so that we can add in different spells, get a decent amount of damage out of the spells we use, and also use Lucett's Staff, of course, as well. This is a really fun weapon, probably one of the most fun weapons in the game when you land it. However, the Ash of War does take a little bit of time to land, so that's the only disadvantage there. Nice takedown there, though. Overall, really fun weapon. Definitely a cool one. Hopefully the person that requested it likes the way this build came out. Let's jump into equipment. We have Rosus Axe plus 10. We have Lucett's Staff plus 10. We are using the Giant Seal, any seal for buffs. That helm will give you plus 2 faith. Check out the armor set, 51 poise. Shard of Alexander. We have the Magic Scorpion Charm. We have the Graven Mask Talisman. We have the Godfrey icon as well for our spells. We have the Faith tier, Bloodsucking crack tier. Let's jump into stats. 55 Vigor, 22 Mind, 25 Endurance, 22 Strength, 15 Dexterity, 60 Intelligence, 33 Faith. We have Golden Vow, Halishiburi, Blessings Boon, Terra Magica, Glintstone Ice Crag, and Comet. Yeah, I shortened some of these clips at the end there. They could have used more time there. And now somebody wanted an awkward build that works. So we're going to be using Rabbit's Cannon here. And then we have the Barb Staff Spear. This is a really weird build, but it's actually a lot of fun. You get to use a cannon, which is really cool. Kind of a bit of a goofy build here that you can make work. And then, of course, in our offhand, we have a really solid weapon in the Barbed Staff Spear. And, of course, the machine gun holy attack that you get that could do a lot of damage as well. I honestly love this one because it's pure goofiness. This actually made the thumbnail. I think the cannon's really fun too, using explosive bolts. You get a little bit of magic damage with this one as well. None of the cannons are particularly ridiculous in terms of damage. You can buff them up for some more damage, but overall they're just okay. Having the Barbed Staff Spear, though, as a secondary option, though, makes the build work well. So you at least have a good option in terms of your secondary weapon. So you can go forward with the cannon, get in a couple hits, and then switch to the Barbed Staff Spear. This is definitely an awkward build that works well for the person that requested that. Didn't really give too many specifics here, so I did something goofy. And honestly, I had a lot of fun with it. This is a pure fun build, meant for fun. Hopefully it is fun. We have Rabbit's Cannon, plus 10 preferably. We have the Erdtree Seal. We have the Barbed Staff Spear, plus 10, of course. We are using explosive bolts for this build, of course. Check out the armor set here. It was kind of just a funny set I put together for this build. We have the Arrow Sting Talisman. Arrow's Reach and Sting would be better there. Shard of Alexander, Sacred Scorpion Charm, Arsenal Charms plus 1, or Great Jar's Arsenal if you have it. We have the Holy Tear, Bloodsucking Crack Tear. Let's jump into stats. For our stats, we have 55 Vigor, 20 Mind, 30 Endurance, 28 Strength, 18 Dexterity, 60 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Flame Grip Me Strength, and Blessings Moon for this build. Next one, a little bit of a Dark Souls inspired build. Again, I've been playing Dark Souls 3 again, so here's a classic Claymore build. This is going to use Stamp Upward Cut with the Claymore in Quality Affinity, a little bit of a throwback to Dark Souls there, and then of course using a shield as well if you want to block anything with the Brass Shield. Now, we do get a Poise Break, and of course you're going to get a decent amount of them with the Claymore and Stamp Upward Cut. Overall, though, you can block. You can, of course, get decent damage and Quality Affinity with the Claymore, and you can go for Poise Breaks as well with Stamp Upward Cut. Let's jump into equipment and stats for this one. We have the Quality Claymore, plus 25 with Stamp Upward Cut. We have the Brass Shield, best medium shield in the game, any seal for buffs. You can check out the armor set there. We hit 56 poise. Blade of Mercy Talisman, Shard of Alexander, Two-Handed Sword Talisman, Arsenal Charms plus 1, or Great Jar's Arsenal if you have it. Green Burst Crystal Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier. Let's jump into stats. Showed my equipment there for a second. Now into stats. 60 Vigor, 19 Mind, 28 Endurance, 34 Strength. That's going to be over 50 when you two-hand this. 45 Dexterity. We have 25 Faith. For our buffs, we're going to be using Golden Vow, Flame Grip Me Strength, and Blessings Moon for this build. And next up on here, we have an 80 Dex Ice Spear Build. This was another build request. This doesn't use a lot of buffs. We're just using the Golden Vow Ash of War and running 80 Dexterity. This was a request basically for damage to see how much damage you can get, I guess, with Dexterity scaling on it. Now, Ice Spear is going to scale with Dex and Intelligence. So when you go for 80 Dex, you're going to get a lot of damage anyway. You don't need a ridiculous amount of buffs. You're still going to get good damage, close to 2,000 per hit. And when you proc Frost, obviously even more, and then more afterwards as the debuff is applied. Overall, this is a pretty impressive build. Very, very good because Ice Spear itself is fantastic. Can really carry you through the entire game. Pretty much all bosses you can kind of crush with Ice Spear. It really is an amazing Ash of War. Yeah, it's one that's not going to ever let you down. You're always going to be able to get a decent amount of damage. 25 poise damage per hit, by the way, too. So you can get in some poise breaks as well. As you go up in New Game Plus cycles, though, poise does increase, so it gets harder. But overall, if you combine Ice Spear, maybe with some charge hits and whatnot, in Keen Affinity, with the absurd base damage you get for the Guardian Sword Spear, and the fact that Ice Spear has Dexterity scaling, you get fantastic damage to jump into equipment. We have the Guardian's Keen Sword Spear, plus 25. Preferably with Ice Spear, we have Golden Vow, Ash of War, and a Dagger. Any seal for buffs, so you can check out the armor set here. It's mostly the Rakshasa set, though. Shard of Alexander, Magic Scorpion Charm. We have the Dagger Talisman if you get any critical breaks. Melissa's Prosthesis for some added dexterity. We have the Magic Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier. We're using Sleeping Pots on the Godskin duo there. Let's jump into stats. 55 Vigor, 20 Mind, 25 Endurance, 17 Strength, 85 Dexterity, and the 14 Faith is from my starting class. And the next one up here, we have a dual regular hammer build. This one's going to use jump attacks and a really fun build. This is another build request for two hammers that was a little bit unique. And yeah, I wanted to make this kind of something different here. We're using the Flowerstone Gavel, Does decent damage at a range with its lightning abilities. Really cool. Gives a little bit of a debuff for lightning damage as well too. And then our offhand, we have the Morning Star in Blood Affinity, and that has Savage Lion's Claw on it. It's got Savage Lion's Claw just to throw it on there and get some poise damage if you can switch to it. But I'm mainly going for jump attacks and hitting with the lightning. Overall, you can get a decent amount of poise damage with this build as well too, because you're using hammers, and the hammer class itself is excellent for poise damage. Yeah, I love a dual hammer build. A lot of fun. Not a ridiculous amount of damage with this one. You're going to get probably about 12 to 1500 per jump attacks. You will get decent damage from the Flower Stone Gavel, though, because Flower Dragon Bolt, also with the debuff, after the debuff even more, is really excellent. It can be charged too, which is really cool. I actually love it from the DLC. It's really cool. Scales with Arcane as well for the Ashavor itself, so that's kind of cool. And that's why I went for Blood Affinity with the offhand Morning Star, because it kind of fits the whole theme and keeps our stats into one area where we're heavy in Arcane, a little bit of strength, and some dexterity all around. Bit of a quality build that leans Arcane. Overall, though, I think you're going to like this build if you try it out. You have the DLC. It's a lot of fun running these hammers. Probably should have got Poise Break in there with the amount of jump attacks I did. You will get those, though, for sure, because hammers really are excellent for that. Overall, another fun one here. Once again, I'll state probably at the end, too, if you have any build requests, definitely comment them below. For equipment, we have the Flower Stone Gavel plus 10. We have the Blood Morning Star plus 25, preferably with Savage Lion's Claw. We have Eddie Seal for buffs. We're using the Greybird chest piece, Claw Talisman, Shard of Alexander. We have the Godfrey icon. We have the Lightning Scorpion charm. For our tiers, we got the Lightning tier. We got the Blood Sucking Crack tier. For our stats, we have 60 Vigor. We have 20 Mind, 30 Endurance, 20 Strength, 15 Dexterity, 30 Faith, and 45 Arcane. We are using Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection, and Blessings Boon. And thanks for watching this one. Thanks for tuning in to my top 9 creative, overpowered, and fun builds. A couple overpowered builds in here, a couple fun builds, a couple creative builds, a whole mix of everything. If you like videos like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I really can't wait to do more of these. I can't wait for the Tarnished Edition to come out for Elden Ring, because the DLC is going to be available for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC as well, not just for Nintendo Switch 2. So that's going to be excellent. Really excited for that. Don't forget to comment any build requests. I will catch you in the next video.